mythology, there's a legend of a great knight by the name of Parsifal. Now, Parsifal wasn't always a great knight. As a matter of fact, his mother, being married to a knight and having him killed in battle, wanted to protect Parsifal from having a fate anywhere near this, so she hid him away in the woods whilst he was growing up. But one day he accidentally crossed paths with a band of knights, and it so inspired him, because he, in his truest nature himself, was born a knight, that he couldn't think of anything else. He winds up leaving his mother and pursuing the quest of knighthood, which he finally attains through a lot of trial and a lot of exploits, and he proves himself to be virtuous, noble, and a fierce knight. He was someone to be reckoned with. So he develops this reputation for being this extraordinary knight, and then one day he has a vision of the Castle of the Grail. Now this is significant because, according to the legend, all those who seek the Castle of the Grail will never find it. The Castle of the Grail has to find you. You must be worthy. And in this vision, he's joyously greeted at the gates, and they lower the drawbridge, welcoming him into the castle, and they escort him to meet the king. Now the king, due to a tragic accident years earlier, was horribly maimed and in excruciating pain. And in the vision, Parsifal, upon seeing the king, asks him the question, "What ails you, my lord?" And upon asking the king that question, the king is miraculously healed, and the entire kingdom rejoices in mass celebration, and in gratitude, the king bestows his crown upon the head of Parsifal, who then succeeds him as the king and rules well. So he finds the Castle of the Grail, and upon coming to the Castle of the Grail, as he rides up, they greet him joyously, just like in the vision. The drawbridge is lowered, and he moves in, and they take him to meet the king. And upon seeing the king, he's about to ask the question, but then he recalls his mentor instructing him very early in his knighthood that a true, proper knight doesn't ask too many questions. Now, you can kind of see the conundrum he's in. So he chooses to remain silent, which infuriates everybody within the kingdom. And he's actually chased out of the castle, and he's running for his life. And as he rides away, he's lamenting his decision. He's so confused because, after all, he was maintaining the proper social image of a knight, but then he comes to the realization that he chose his social image and his fear of opinions over doing what he knew he needed to do to bring that future vision into his current reality. He stumbles upon the same realization that Teddy Roosevelt had when he said, "It's not the critic who counts, not the critics out there, and especially not the critic in here. It's not the one who points out what the strong man stumbled or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred with dust and sweat and blood, yet strives valiantly and errs and comes short again and again, yet commits himself to a worthy cause, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and the triumph of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails whilst daring greatly, so that his place shall never be amongst those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." You see, when you're in the arena, the language in your head is declarative. It's not descriptive. It deals with what's happening in the moment and what needs to be done. Descriptive language, critical language, that's for the people in the stands. That's for the spectators. It's not for the gladiators in the arena. So, as the story continues, Parsifal has to suffer many, many years trying to correct his mistake. He keeps seeking, but never finding. Kind of like a lot of us, always striving, yet never arriving at the gates of the Castle of the Grail. And after going through much suffering and remaining loyal to his wife and his quest and being steadfast, he finally earns another opportunity. And in this opportunity, he doesn't hesitate. He just says what needs to be said, and he does what needs to be done. And he's crowned king. And it ends well for him. But the moral of the story is, if only he would have realized that first, he wouldn't have had to learn the hard truth that in embarrassment or making a fool out of yourself, all that stuff weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons.